I'm Brittany Angel Jacinta Garcia. Don't know the name? Well, you're about to. So I'm currently 21. I've been writing music from the age of 4. From the age of 3, I was brought up on hip-hop, tap, jazz, ballet, swimming, tennis, gymnastics, vocal lessons, piano lessons. All because of my management team and my parents, who you may or may not know. I'm not gonna lie, I've lived a pretty crazy life. I've been on tour with Blast, with TLC, I've met Snoop Dogg, filmed media for the NBL, for the National Basketball League in Australia. I got sponsored by American Express, released 6 songs, have my own podcast show, and I've worked with heaps of companies such as Red Bull, Nike, Jordan, Nautica, Converse, and so many more. But let's cut this short. Am I an industry plant or a nepotism baby? Let's go. First of all, let's start with what is nepotism. The practice among those with power or influence favoring relatives, friends, or associates, especially by giving them jobs. An example of a nepotism baby would be Natalia Bryant. I was scrolling through socials and I saw this post by Complex saying that Natalia Bryant is interning for Beyonce, and I was like, damn, I'm gonna check the comments, because I already knew that there was gonna be a lot of comments about Natalia being a nepotism baby, and I was like, that's a good YouTube video. Other examples include Angelina Jolie, Emma Roberts, Timothy Chalamet, Lily Rose Depp, George Clooney, Jennifer Aniston, Matt Healy, Gracie Abrams, which shocked me because I was like, who's she related to? And then I did my research, and then I found out that J.J. Abrams is Gracie Abrams' father, the director of Star Wars, and I was like, what? Anyway, continuing on. Robert Downey Jr., Ben Platt, Maud Apatow, Lily Collins, Stella McCartney, Maya Hawke, Elle King, Nico Parker, Bryce Dallas Howard, Jamie Lee Curtis, Charlie Sheen, Gigi Hadid, and Sam Levinson. Not to mention there is a lot more names that I didn't say. Who would have thought? First of all, this photo of Hailey Bieber, honestly iconic. You can call it cringe, at least she's self-aware. Lily Rose Depp said that the internet seems to care a lot about that kind of stuff. People are going to have preconceived ideas about you and how you got here, and I can definitely say that nothing is going to get you the part, except for being right for the part she told Elle in 2022. Baby, Lily, I agree with you to an extent. I graduated from film school, written a few films, and that whole audition process where you have the actors come in, I'm at the table and I'm the casting director. These actors, they give a performance, they read my script, they bring out character elements that I have never seen before. If I can see them playing the part and they look nothing like the part that I've written, I'm gonna obviously change the part to kind of accommodate for the actor, because I have a bias towards them. I like the energy, I like the way that they speak, I love the way that they do little things that I've never thought for the character to do. I'm like 90% sure that the industry is like that too. Moving on to Miss Gigi Hadid. She says, people say that I don't deserve to be where I am because I come from this successful family, but my parents were f***ing hardworking. My dad was a refugee, my mom was on a farm, went to New York and worked to send money back to her family. They worked their asses off and they've given me a life because of their hard work, and I work hard to honor that. Period. As you should be. I respect everything that Gigi just said. If you think about it, everyone's living a nepo baby lifestyle, because if it weren't for your parents, how would you have gotten here? How would you have made it to where you are right now? Both my parents born and raised in the Philippines, and they worked their asses off to get to Australia. And so basically, I'm a mini nepo baby because the fact that my parents could make such grand movements, you know, if I was in the Philippines, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now, and everything happens for a reason. You are exactly where you need to be in order to get the opportunities that you're about to receive. I don't know if that made sense. We are low-key all mini nepo babies, but we're just not in the celebrity nepo baby world. As humans, we are biased towards the people that we love and the people that we hate. Anyway, I'll get to this later. Let's move on to Elizabeth Olsen. She says, nepotism is a thing and I'm very aware of it. I've always wanted to make it alone. Say if you're a nepo baby and your parents do this crazy ass scandal. Say if you're like launching a book and on that exact same week your parents got into an affair. You're trying to launch this book and all people have to ask you is what happened to your parents when you're supposed to be focusing on your book release. Let's move on to Maya Hawke. She says, I feel like the only way to handle the nepotism thing, which definitely gives you massive advantages in this life, is you get chances for free, but the chances will not be infinite. So you have to keep working and do a good job, and if you do a bad job, the chances will stop. And that's my ethos. It's amazing the fact that they get all these opportunities handed to them. But then again, you have to work hard in order to stay successful. They get amazing opportunities handed to them. And so if they take that opportunity and they do a shitty job, well, obviously they're not gonna get more opportunities like that. And especially if you're a nepo baby and you have your first acting gig, everyone's gonna hate on you for that. No one's gonna think that you're an actor because you're a nepo baby. You just got handed this. They put in the hard work. They do their research on certain events that occurred for this film, and they hire acting coaches. They put in the work to study that part and do well so they can get more opportunities like that. Those people also get slandered at the fact that they're a nepo baby. But yeah, like, they have the acting coaches, they have all the facilities in order to get good at their craft, but so can anyone. You can go read books, go to a library, go study, go search that on YouTube, go practice every single day. Same thing. We just have to do it in difficult mode. They have it in easy. A really popular segment that I've been seeing everywhere is this Maud Apatow thing, and she says that she felt a little sad to hear that people associating her with that label, nepo baby. I totally understand that the label has a negative connotation to it. She also says, I try to not let it get to me because I obviously understand that I'm in such a lucky position. A lot of people in a similar position to Maud have proven themselves over the years, so I've got to keep going and make good work. I agree with this statement. Personally, I'm not a nepo baby, but I can feel for the nepo babies studying film, being in the entertainment industry, the music industry. I feel all these things because in everyday life, people get things handed to them every single day. Not only these nepo babies, but a lot of people, it's who you know, not what you do. Don't get me wrong, I was jealous as when I was like, you know, thinking about nepo babies a year ago, and I was like, these people get handed to them all the time. I've been making YouTube videos for 10 plus years now and nothing's really been happening. A nepo baby could start a YouTube channel and y'all would all be eating it up, and yeah, it's not fair. That's the way life is. But then again, if you think about how hardworking these nepo babies are, for example, Miley Cyrus, before she got into like Disney Channel, she was a child actor. She would have this audition for Disney Channel. She would do the Hannah Montana audition, but she was too young. Disney looked and looked and looked and couldn't find the perfect person. And Miley was too young, but they waited for a little while, tried to look for the one, but Miley was like, you know, the one that caught their eye. Hannah Montana started like her whole entire career, obviously. Have you seen the schedule of this 12-year-old? Like, she wasn't 12, maybe she was like 13, 14, but still, try touring around the world at the age of 15. She had to work so hard to get to where she is currently. A lot of these nepo babies, they're very underrated, and y'all are just kind of like throwing the word like nepo baby like they didn't work for when actuality, some of them have. There's like a negative connotation with the word nepo baby. Also, I don't know about y'all, but if I was a nepo baby, I'd be using that shit to my advantage. I'd be flexing that my parents are famous and rich. I'd be using that shit, wouldn't you? If I was given a ton of money because my parents were famous, you already know I'm gonna be delving into every single hobby. Cooking classes, I'd just be doing the absolute most. Same vibe, different font to like a nepotism baby is an industry plant in the music industry. So an industry plant is an artist that kind of presents themselves as being independent and doing things for themselves when in actuality they have a whole ass record label supporting them and they have money to fund them to artificially shape such a narrative. Industry plants didn't inherit a famous name, but instead they inherit all the famous connections and the knowledge of the industry and business, and this is usually to do with musicians. The first industry plant that I can think of is Billie Eilish. I remember when her hit SoundCloud, Ocean Eyes, produced by her brother Phineas, and I was like, wow, like that's insane, like the fact that they could get such a big outreach. I would do a little bit more research into this when I was younger. I was like, damn, like Billy and Phineas came from like a really small home. They weren't that rich, and it's like rags to riches. Billy got signed and so forth and so forth. I like looked into it today and I was like, hang on, Billy's parents are in the entertainment industry. That's not the story we were told from the very beginning. We were perceived for them to be poor and like, you know, rags to riches, that type of like Cinderella like story. That was not the case. Like her mom's a musician, her dad's an actor, was on like Iron Man, The West Wing, NYPD Blue. Phineas had a manager at that point, and that manager helped them get signed to a record label. Another industry plant that I've seen a lot of is Gail from the TikTok, the challenge, the A, B, C, D, E, you and your mom and your sister and you know that song? Yeah, everybody does. Someone challenged Gail to make a song inspired by the alphabet. When you look at this person's comment, it's from Nancy Berman, which is very interesting because Nancy Berman, why does her name kind of ring a bell? She's the marketing manager for Atlantic Records. Industry plant type beat, you know? Another one that people would say is a industry plant is Olivia Rodrigo, which is very interesting because, yeah, all she had was Disney supporting her, and she's been a child actor for a very long time. Just because they get support from a managing team, Disney or whatever, does that make them an industry plant? Like, does anyone that gets signed to a record label considered an industry plant? An Australian one would be like the Kid Laroi, and so he would open for like heaps of shows for Juice WRLD, and Kid Laroi and Juice WRLD created like such a connection to the point where the Kid Laroi will be signed to the same management as Juice WRLD. Taylor Swift, I used to be a big fan. Taylor Swift came from a rich family. Her father invested $300,000 into a record label that would produce Taylor Swift's next 6 albums. So if that didn't happen, then Taylor Swift would not be known as the big pop star that she is today. A few other industry plants are like Fall Out Boy and Panic at the Disco, but you guys can do your own research about that. In the music industry, we value authenticity, especially with a storyteller that's trying to tell a story that they can relate to. So we appreciate when an artist has gone through hardship, when an artist has actually gone through the rags and have gone through the riches. As an audience, we hate being deceived, and we lose trust with an artist when we realize that they're an industry plant. Personally, I feel like the nepotism baby and the industry plant term is so dumb, so stupid. It's a meaningless term. I absolutely dislike the social norm of just hating on the rich. Someone had to work really hard to get to where they were. Some of them did not, but some of them did. When we say the word nepotism baby or industry plant, we're discrediting the artist from their own art. At the end of the day, they create the art and we consume it. They put in the hard work and we get inspired by it. It shouldn't matter where people come from and what connections they already have, because that's the way we live life. We humans are biased to our family members, to friends. It's the way the world spins. I've received so many insane opportunities just because of the people that I know. I've been at the right place, right time, talked to the right people, and the people that I've worked for. And not gonna lie, you guys have too. I got to see Snoop Dogg in person just because I knew someone that worked somewhere. I got AAA media access to TLC's concert because I've previously worked with Sony in the past, and this was a job for Sony. I've worked hella hard to get to where I am. And so, as a person that's come from the bottom and is kind of delving the way to the top slowly, it should not matter. You've learned more lessons than a nepotism baby because you've had to earn your way to the top. And so I don't think we should hold it over their heads being like, oh, like you get everything handed to you. Sure, they do, but what are you gonna do about it? All these connections that I've made are from my hard work, going out multiple times to different events, introducing myself to all different types of people. I would have meetings with companies, lawyers. I'd be going to events that I wasn't even invited to. I would just turn up and I would see someone and they would be like, yo, just come in, and like I'd go to the event and it would get me insane opportunities. We should never obsess over someone having more advantages in life or in the industry because we can't change who they know or who they don't know or who their parents are. And we can get mad all we want over the fact that they got handed that audition, whether they got handed that script. We should not obsess over the fact that they were able to get into the rooms that we were never able to get into, because we cannot control anybody else except for ourselves. We can't instantly become a nepo baby. We can't jump the board. We can't instantly get that get out of jail free or get out of poverty free. We were put in the exact position that we are in right now, where you're sitting or where you're lying down or where you're standing watching this YouTube video, for a reason. You're watching this video for a reason. These nepo babies, industry plants, were put in that position for a reason, and you can't change that reason. You can't instantly go, I'm changing the rules of this game, because you cannot. That's life. That's the way we work. That's the way we run. From a creative standpoint, if you want to acquire those connections, you have to work for it, like every single person that became a celebrity did. And sometimes some people have a step up. They're on a pedestal. How are you going to climb up this hill to get to where everybody else is? My advice to you guys is to go to more events, collaborate with more people, talk to more people, get to know people as humans. Reach out to those different companies via DM, email, and change your mindset to a more positive mindset, to focus more on yourself and less on other people. And that is how you get in that perfect exact position to get to where you need to be. Stop focusing on these nepo babies and industry plans and start focusing on yourself. Alright, y'all. Have an amazing night. Have an amazing day. Drink heaps of water. I love and appreciate all of you. I love you all. I did that. I killed that. Come on, go on.
No food. Parked up outside in the old school. The new me back with the OU. The dog always find his way back home, and it's so true. Later on, fall through and pop one.
I'm Brittany Jacinto Garcia, and you're watching Disney Channel. No, whoops, my bad.